MennoNerds, this is Deborah Ferber, and today I want to talk about something that the majority of us are heavily invested in, and that is social media. I, like the majority of young Canadians under the age of 30, have a variety of platforms. I'm a blogger, I have Facebook, I almost have 1,000 friends, I have Twitter, and I don't have Instagram. I'm holding out on that one. Everyone always asks me, do you have Instagram? I always say, I don't know, and they say, you would know if you had it, so I guess I don't have Instagram. Social media has been a wonderful blessing to me throughout my life. It's helped me professionally, it's helped me socially. I've been able to network with lots of different people that I went to university with who maybe I wouldn't keep in contact with on a regular basis, but I'm still interested in their lives. I'm still interested in if they're having children or getting married or having new jobs or moving. It's also helped me connect to people that I actually personally don't know, but I know through either a blogging network like MennoNerds or through a church connection. And it's really interesting because sometimes I have professional questions. You know, I might be looking for a job, I'll just post something on Facebook, does anyone know of a job that they think I'd be good at? And you'd be amazed how many people respond. I love getting the news through Facebook. Actually, I think that's one of the major ways that I actually know what's happening in this world, is that people will share and like the major news articles, and that's actually really helped me out in my academic studies as well. And Facebook in particular has been a really great platform for me to connect with people. It's one of the easiest ways if I'm having a party, if I'm, wanting to celebrate my birthday or wanting to have a get-together of some sort or a trip of some sort. It's one of the quickest and easiest ways to just go through a list of friends, like, okay, here you are, here you're invited, and come alongside. However, as much as Facebook is a brilliant example of what can happen with social networking, and I'm just using Facebook as an example because it's the one that I spend the most amount of time with. I think I'm a self-proclaimed Facebook addict. It's actually kind of bad at points. But social media in and of itself is not good or bad. It's a neutral force. It all depends on how we use it. That being said, I have had a lot of struggles with social media in the last few years as well. And that's what I want to talk to you guys about today, is sort of finding this healthy balance between how we use it as a platform, even for evangelism, which I have done. I often post little Bible verses or sermon illustrations or different things about Christian books I'm reading. But also, it does have a vice, and one way in particular that social media has impacted me negatively has been in my self-confidence. I always introduce myself to people as an extrovert, but I always preface that by saying, yes, I'm an extrovert, but I'm an insecure extrovert. And for the longest time, I was going through this inner battle because, like I said, I have lots and lots of friends on Facebook, but sometimes I might be just an acquaintance with someone. I might not actually be really close to that person. I might never even have gone to coffee with that person, but I do know that maybe we go to the same church or the same youth group or young adults group. And I noticed that that person has been invited to a party with other people from my church, and that I'm not invited. And then I become almost depressed about it. I start thinking about myself, do people not like me? Why wasn't I invited? I didn't even know that was happening. And it's particularly challenging when I have the day off work and I could have attended that party, but I simply didn't know what was happening. And I'm not proud of that. I think that in a lot of ways it probably reflects negatively on me, but I do know that that is a common problem with a lot of people in my generation, this insecurity and the sense of not knowing if they're loved or not. And that's why I actually deleted Facebook for almost 2 months, a few months ago when I first got back to Canada. And that was actually a really good time for me. It really helped me to prioritize my life and show me a lot of different things and to rethink things. Social media is great, like I said, so many benefits to it, but it also gives us a false sense of reality. You know, in reality, no one in this world is going to have 1,000 friends. Let's just be honest. You might know 1,000 people, okay, that's not that uncommon to know 1,000 people, but we do not have the emotional or mental or spiritual capacity to have deep, deep conversations about life and living, to share our inner self with that many people. And yet, Facebook gives us this false perception. I think it also brings out a lot of questions about pride. You know, I like to write a lot on Facebook. I post multiple times a day, and a lot of times it's about something theological. And I've noticed over time, I didn't realize it at first, but I've noticed over time that a lot of times I will bring out my own academic training. I'll often mention I have a master's in theology. And I started asking myself, why am I mentioning that? You know, why is that even relevant to the conversation? I mean, in a way, maybe it is relevant because it's giving some kind of background, why it's an interest of mine or a passion of mine, or maybe a sense of credibility. But I realized over time that a lot of that stems from pride. That a lot of that is just because I want people to think of me as greater than I am. So these are just a few of the thoughts that I have about social media. I'm sure that there is lots of other things that could be said about it. But my encouragement for you is the number one thing to remember when you're working with social media is that first and foremost, it is not real life. And second of all, how we can make it a ministry. And we have to start with ourselves. You know, I'm not saying go delete your Facebook. I'm not saying go delete your Twitter accounts. But the Bible says that if your right eye causes you to stumble, you need to throw it out. And I think that in modern day terminology, if Facebook causes you to stumble, get rid of it. Delete it for a short time. Disable it for a short time. And that's what I had to do, and I think that's what a lot of people have to do, because there's so much on Facebook that causes us to stumble, whether it's something of an inappropriate content because of our faith, or vulgar language, or even just like I said, the sense of insecurity. You need to realize when you're interacting with Facebook or any other social media how it's impacting you personally, how it's making you feel, how it's making you respond to what's happening in this world. And if you find yourself getting edgy, find yourself wanting to get in arguments all the time, find yourself feeling insecure about it, then it's time to maybe shift your priorities and really think about that. Really think about what are the benefits, and do the benefits truly outweigh the cons. So I just want to leave you with that, and I'm happy to continue the conversation. God bless.